back. She never looks back. Looks back. Demons are crawling back to your bed, and they're calling out your name. Demons are crawling back to your bed. Demons are crawling back to your bed, and they're calling out your name. Demons are crawling back to your Demons are crawling back to your bed, and they're calling out your name. Demons are crawling back to your bed. Demons are crawling back to your bed, and they're calling out your name. Demons are crawling back to your bed. Demons are crawling back to your bed, and they're calling out your name. Demons are crawling back to your bed.
Night Dreams Talk Radio, After Dark, wants to give a big shout out to all the truckers that listen to our show. You are listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, from our compound to you worldwide, with your host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me. Boy, just this week just flew by. I just can't get over it. It seemed like yesterday was Tuesday, and all of a sudden it's Friday. Did I go through some type of time warp or something? I don't know. You never know, being a talk show host. Well, AJ, let's kind of wrap this up here, and then let's find out where they can find your books and what's your newest book and all that.
Right, which was the original reason I went out on the talk show circuit, was the new book, Amadei. It's actually a new competitor for Harry Potter.
Interesting.
Right, so you can go to Amadei book, and its subtitle is "The Boy No One Knew About." That's its subtitle, and you can. It's Amadei. It's AMADA book.com. Okay, there's a digital as well as a print version. You can order the print version. We had a lot of problem with the print version in the cover. Okay, Amazon still hasn't gotten the cover right. They have a lot of problem printing it. We spent all the end of April, all of May, and part of June trying to get it right. And we even changed the entire format of the cover, and they still, it's been a bit of a disappointment. But you can get it. I get such great emails on this one, I get, my 9, 10, 11, and 12-year-old disappeared for an entire weekend. My husband disappeared for an entire weekend. And I've been getting such lovely accolades. People are really liking the book. but because I can't go out yet into the bookstores because they cannot print the cover correctly, I've only managed to sell about 5,000 copies, and so I have to come on radios. Generous people like yourself invite me on, and I encourage people. If you are a fan of that Harry Potter series, you're going to love this. People ask me why you wrote it. I say, well, she stopped writing them. Maybe she'll start again, but this isn't a very American story. It's very different, but everyone so far is loving it. I do get one complaint. There's kind of two people that come at me. They get to about chapter 4. Oh, this is too much like Harry Potter, and they stop. And then we get the people who read it from cover to cover, and they come at me. They've had a religious experience of some kind. I'm not going to understand that. I've never had that before. But the weirdest thing is the people who stopped at 4 or 5, and then they dare to go back to finish the book, they send me apologies for having stopped and doubted me because it seemed too much like Harry Potter in the first place. That's new to me also. I've never had that kind of experience, either people apologizing for stopping and starting again. But everyone's enjoying it, and again, it's AmadeiBook.com.
Okay, and if they want to find you, how can they find you?
Oh, I'm easy. I'm AJEnsor.com. That's AJ Ensor, E as in Edward, ENSOR.com. You can find me there. I just hit the like button on your page there. I'm AJ Ensor there. If you go to TED Talks on Facebook, TED Talks, they call it the TED Talks audience, okay, because I can't just use TED Talks, it's copyrighted. The TED Talks, it's almost 250,000 people on that page, and I tend to go on there, and I use my intellect, and I annoy a lot of people. So
there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. I mean, what it is I'm a conservative, and there's a lot of liberals on there, and I enjoy picking on them from an intellectual point of view, and they all get hostile and call me names, and other people just love it. So it's both entertaining and annoying, depending on who you are.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let you go. I want to thank you for coming on the show. You gave us a lot of food of thought. Again, the name of your new book, and they can find it on Amazon. What is the name of the new book again?
Amadei, AMADA book.com.
And you can find that on Amazon. So I'd suggest you guys check it out. It sounds like it would be a good read. Well, AJ, I want to thank you for being on the show.
Oh, my pleasure. And it's God, I touched so little. I got so much more. Maybe you'll invite me back.
That is a very good possibility, my friend. Well, you have a great weekend.
You too.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
You take care.
Bye-bye.
So anyway, James.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, I'm just wondering if there is something to this. When you get older, like I said, when I was a kid, waiting for Christmas, like the last couple weeks before Christmas, seemed like it was a whole life. Or when you were in like 3rd grade, you couldn't wait to be in 5th grade, because when you're in 5th grade, you're with bigger kids, and then you can't wait to get to junior high school, but it takes forever. And then from junior high school to high school, it takes forever. But then after you get into your mid-20s, it starts speeding up. The days go by faster. And then after you get like in your 30s, it's starting to go a little bit faster. When you get into your 50s, it starts zooming. And when you get even older, it seems like a day, which seemed like a day was like forever. But to me, it seems like it's only minutes. So I'm just wondering if there's anything to when you get older, time is not, time is not time.
It's all on the perception of your reality, I reckon. And, you're right. I remember starting 1st grade, and my mom says, "Oh, you got 12 more years or 11 more years to go." And the ironic thing is, when I went to 1st grade, my first day ever, I never went to kindergarten or nothing, and I lived in the country, never even been around more than 2 kids at once. So it was a shock the first day. And the school I went to it had everything from first grade to 12th grade all in one school.
Oh,
And
wow.
at lunch, yeah, and it was a little school, right? And at lunchtime, it was everybody all in there at once from, age 6, 7 up to 18. So I didn't know what was going on. Only been around this many people in this school for 4 hours. So I'm at lunch, and I'm like, this is a lot to intake, consume. I'm like freaking out. And somehow I got in the wrong line. And the next thing I know, this old woman who was a first grade teacher also, she snuck up behind me and put me in a sleeper hold and picked me up off the ground. I was about to black out, and she dropped me, and I hit the floor. That was my first day of school, man. I thought school I'd never get out of school. The days were slow for me. Believe me, I remember I got home, my mom said, "How was the first day?" I'm like, I'm going to quit, She goes, "What?" It was terrible.
I don't know. It just seems like time when you get older just moves so much faster.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. It's just like the whole day I don't get anything accomplished like I did when I was like in 30s and 40s. It seemed like I could get a lot accomplished now. It seems like I start a project and then the next thing I know, it's time to go to bed and I even haven't finished the project yet. It's interesting. But
yeah, I agree with you.
So what do you think about, aliens yet? Do you think we're being watched? And again, what's the point of them watching us and not helping us?
Well, right. And the other thing is, and maybe this is very shallow-minded to think this, or even closed box-minded, but I look at us. If we was going to go and look at another society for their solar system and other things, I would think it would be hard to. I think we'd need more than just that. But again, it could be shallow thinking. I don't know. There's so much going on, but I definitely think, I think there's many different type of beings watching us, so to speak. Definitely.
Well, the book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, or the show from BBC, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. If I had that button I could push on my desk and say, you know what, Earth is in the way for the superhighway, I would probably push the button because I'm really discouraged right now.
You sound like Darth Vader with the the Death Star planet, blow them up. But yeah, things can get you down. You just got to try not to let it get you down.
Well, I'm not down at all. I'm just saying, look what's going on.
I know.
I mean, it never stops, and it seems like it keeps escalating. I mean, it's crazy. I just really think that, like you were mentioning on your news, I read that too, that they will have technology to get us anywhere in the world within an hour. Well, you know what? Star Trek did it within seconds.
That's
You
true.
just stepped on this platform and they transported you. And 99.9% of the time it worked. And sometimes you didn't come back. Or if you came back as whatever.
Every time I think about the transporter thing, I kind of think about the movie Fly, too, because what happens if you transport, because the theory is it breaks your atoms down and then puts them all back together again, but if a fly or an insect's in there with you, does it get mingled in with you? Or, how does that work? You know what I mean?
Well, they would have to put a lot of fly strips up on the ceiling of the UFO because, or of the spacecraft, because if a fly, which undoubtedly would end up on, the Enterprise or any other, spaceship, right? You're going to have flies as long as there's humans. Or how about a mouse? Hey, a mouse runs on the pad. When you're standing on there in transport, you come back. Okay, or you're on another planet, right?
Yeah.
And there's a cockroach on your shoe, and you come back, and then you're half human and half cockroach, like the fly. And the fly was in the thing, and he came back, and he slowly started turning into a fly. Ooh.
Right. You'd have to be in a hermetically sealed tube and make sure nothing got in there with you for sure, because